All right, I've got these last two door panel flanges hardening here. And so I'm going to call that done for now. And I just removed these clips right here. One or two of those I've got missing. See if I can find a replacement clip online somewhere. And let's see what we can see. All right, so here's the inside of the door panel with the door card. I'm going to refer to this as the door card, and that is the door panel. You see this little guy right here? It's not long for this world, so watch this. You see that? So we're going to have to fix that. One of my viewers recommended a plastic welder. I believe this would probably be a really good fit for that tool to do this repair. I may look into that. This door card is just nasty. It's ugly. It's got some mildew on it. It doesn't smell. I'm either going to clean it or replace it. If I clean it, I'll probably just do a little bit of Clorox and try to brighten it up, and then maybe come back with a little bit of brown paint and just, fake it. All right, I've got the interior door card out of the panel here. And the vinyl is in really good shape, although there is something behind it here that's trying to poke through. I don't know what that is. That's where the cup holder is. Can't do anything about that. What I don't like is this foam in here. It's just dilapidated. It falls everywhere. It's really annoying. So the foam that's under it is to give you that cushy feeling, right? This part feels pretty good, but this part down here is all matted up, and you can feel these ridges here and there. There's a ridge right there. That's just flat. There's no cushion left of that at all. There's a knot right here. Oh, what the heck's up with that? Did something crawl in there? Let's see. It must be just some balled up. Now, I need a longer screwdriver. Let's see here. Don't tear it. Let me see if I can't work that out of there. Find out what that is. It's a mystery. Got to know what it is. All right, so it's just balled up. It is a balled up piece of that foam. I don't know why it's balled up. I suppose a critter might have done that. Like a mouse or something. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Somebody may have been up in here with a screwdriver, like myself, just now, and shoved that in there and then said, to heck with it, and left it. So anyway, all right, mystery solved on that. Balled up foam. But here's the deal. I don't want to take this vinyl off of here. All right, so I'm going to make up my mind here. Let me give this some thought, folks, and we'll get back to you here just shortly. All right, so I think I have a plan. I am going to leave this side intact because it looks pretty good, and I'm going to peel this side back to repair this balled up, matted up foam underneath this section. So, all right, I'm going to try to get a heat gun. This may not be too terribly difficult. Actually, it may. See a bit. Look at that. It's coming off without a heat gun. All right, well, I'm going to use a heat gun nonetheless to try to make it a little easier. So here we go. All right, let's see how this goes. We'll put it on low. Well, that wasn't too bad, now was it? Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're on the right track here. There we go. So we've got a piece of plastic stapled to the door card here. That's kind of interesting. All right, we have one more section to go. Okay, now I think we're done. I think we're ready now. Let's reveal the nasty bits beneath. All right, so we don't want to go too far. We can't go too far because this other part is glued down. So I think that's about as far as we're going to go. As you can see, for whatever reason, the foam has been twisted up right here. Something, oh, you know what that is? Screws. When they installed these drink holders, the screws grabbed this foam and balled it up. So that mystery is solved. Look at that. Look at all this. Look at all this dry, rotted foam in there. Just a mess. We've got to get the shop back in here and clean this up. All right, so there's your 36-year-old door card foam, and that is probably, it looks to be about a 1/16 of an inch, but doesn't really matter. It's all compressed and nasty. So let me get a shop vac and clean this up real quick. All right, that was pretty uneventful. Got the shop vac, got this small attachment I got up in there and got all that dilapidated foam dust out of there. We have a little bit of the door card remnants left on the vinyl. What I'll need to do is get the heat gun out and peel the rest of that off before I put everything back together. So now it's off to the hobby shop or someplace to find some sheets of some sort of foam to replace the stuff we pulled out of here. All this part down here, you really don't see it. It's in the pocket. It's in the the map pocket that's in the door. So I'm really not interested in messing with this. This seems to be firmly affixed to the door card, so we're just not going to fool with that. We may get the heat gun after some of this and try to take that bump out. I don't know how successful we're going to be with that. It's probably stretched, and if it's stretched, there's not a whole lot I can do with it. All right, folks, I'll show you more in just shortly. All right, the rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper. The verdict on the plastic hold-down clips is one missing here, one missing here. This one is broken and completely pressed inward and useless. So this will have to be brought out and this plastic all repaired. Plastic soldering, I think we're going to go with that. And these appear to be okay, but I will probably reinforce these with some JB Weld maybe. And then this one is, we looked at this one earlier. This one is hanging on there with a wing and a prayer. So maybe plastic soldering, maybe JB Weld, maybe a little of both. We have our work cut out for us on this door panel, folks, but I will not be discouraged. We will complete this task and restore this door panel back to, well, almost to its original glory. I went to my favorite big box and bought some, what is this? Do you know what this is? It's carpet underlayment. It has a nice rubber backing to it so it won't move around. This is very tactful and sticky. And this is the softy part that goes upward underneath the carpet. So the foam that was under here was really thin and dilapidated. I have no idea what the original thickness was, but I'm going to assume it was probably somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch thick. I really have no idea, but we're going to try this anyway. We're going to try to use this as the replacement foam for this section right here. Okay. I took some regular printing paper and taped it together. And I'm going to use this, and I'll tack it down here and here, and I'll make myself a pattern, and I'll cut it out with some scissors. Transfer it over to this guy and cut that out so I can slip it up in here. All right. I got a rough template cut out, and I'm going to work on this for a few minutes and tweak it a little bit, and then we're going to transfer it over to the padding and cut out the proper shape. All right, after about a week's worth of trimming, we've got the basic shape cut out, and I just did a test fit underneath, and but I still have a little more trimming to go. because it's, it's clearly thicker than the original foam. So I'm going to have to trim back further from the edge a little bit more than it was from the factory in order to get it all the way underneath there and be able to glue the outside edge back down. So, all right, well, I'm going to continue trimming, and then up next, we'll show you the final piece. All right, I've got enough room all the way around to apply a bead of sealant. And we've got this padding cut the way we want it. Our next step, we're going to go ahead and remove this, and we will use the heat gun to remove the last remnants of door card and glue from the vinyl. And we will choose an appropriate sealant to reattach this. So, all right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm scraping away the remnants of the door card from the vinyl, and it's adhered with whatever sealant the factory put on there. And I'm using a simple razor blade, but not in a fashion that you may think. So this is basically an old luthier's trick. Take a razor blade and run it across a piece of metal. And I don't know if you can see in the camera there, you see that ridge on the very end of the razor? What I've done is I've taken the edge of the razor and I've curved it back that way just a little bit. And I made myself a scraper. So you can use the razor blade in this fashion to scrape things, as opposed to this fashion to slice things. So if I went along here like this, I would have a tendency to cut into the vinyl. But with this little curve in the edge of the blade, you can see it right there. I'm going to use it as a scraper. All right, I'm going to continue on with this. I think I should probably be done in, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000 hours. All right, we have got our carpet underlayment padding cut to size. We are ready to glue the vinyl down around it. What we're going to use for this is Loctite vinyl fabric and plastic flexible adhesive. Why? Because, hey, why not? It sounds good. And so we're going to try it. And what we're going to do is we're going to try it on this little part right here, let it dry, see what happens. If it works correctly, we'll continue with the rest. If it doesn't, we'll peel it back off and try something else. So anyway, here we go. All right, this stuff is pretty thin, actually. It's really, really thin. It's even thinner than like maple syrup. It's pretty thin, so keep that in mind if you decide to use this product. It has a little bit of outgassing that I can sense in my weak sense of smell. My smell is just now coming back. I will let the viewers ponder on that statement for a little while and ask themselves, well, what's he talking about? Why wouldn't he be able to smell? All right, we've got a clamp and a couple of pieces of wood, and we're going to let that dry. The instructions say to let it dry for 2 solid hours. All right, it's been more than 2 hours. Let's see what the damage is like. Looking pretty good. Okay, so this is our glue job with the Loctite flexible adhesive. I would say that is plenty good enough. It doesn't have to be like an epoxy. It just needs to tack it in place and keep it from moving around. Once you get the door panel installed and the door card back in place, I think this will be just fine. I think this Loctite vinyl adhesive is just what the doctor ordered. All right, so I'm going to continue this glue job all the way around, and we will prepare this door card for reinstallation back into the door panel. All right, we're starting the glue job all the way around. Got one more little area to go here. Got to glue that down and get a clamp on that. And once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and use the Dremel tool, and we'll cut out some nice little holes here for the interior handle. And we'll bore out the proper hose for the drink holder as well, so that when we put our screws in, we won't twist up the matting that we put down in there. So, all right, we should be done with this here shortly. All right, we're all done with the glue job on the door card. I just placed the drink holder, placed it there just to see what it looks like. It covers up all the holes. The glue is done a fine job to hold the vinyl against the door card. I'm not worried about that at all. So the back side here is pretty mangled up where they put this drink holder in. And I've got to do something about those holes because the screws, I think there's only one hole that will actually hold a screw. It's these 4 holes here. And so I have them marked with a pencil on the back. I think what I'm going to do is cut a small piece of maybe some plywood to the back side to give myself a nice firm surface to screw into. And I would glue it on there with some JB Weld. Or maybe I'll just fill these holes in with JB Weld, let it dry, and then re-drill. I may do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens here in the next few minutes. All right, I think we got a plan here, folks. This product is called Luan. And if you look on the back of your bookcase in your house somewhere, or on the back of some piece of furniture, you'll probably see a piece of this. It's basically really thin plywood, but with a highly finished surface to make it look nice for furniture. I used this to make a bookshelf for my wife a couple of years ago. Anyway, so we're going to take this, we're going to JB Weld it right there, and we're going to give ourselves something really nice to screw into for our drink holder. I think this is going to work out pretty well. It's thin enough to not interfere with anything else in the door panel, and it's extremely lightweight. So I think this would be a good plan. All right, before we end this video, I just wanted to show you what the final product looked like on the wood trim. I think we've got 4 total, maybe 5 coats of polyurethane here. The last 3 or 4 coats were applied with a hobby brush, and that worked out a lot better. We've got some patina, if you will, that's been preserved. We've got some cracking there, preserved in the high gloss polyurethane, as well as that chip that we had to reinstall. And actually, I think I like that pretty well. It adds a lot of character. It doesn't look perfect, but then again, it's 36 years old. It's not supposed to look perfect. If I wanted something perfect, I would have bought a new car. All right, last thing for this video, I think the drink holder workaround has finally dried. So let's get the weights off of there and let's install the drink holder and see how it looks. I've got our drink holder fix in place there. Stuck solidly to the back side of the door card. So up next, I'm going to get a very small drill bit and carefully tap each of these holes down into the Luan, and we'll get some screws in there and we'll get our drink holder back in place. All right, folks, well, there you have it. Just got through applying a good coat of the Mother's vinyl and leather conditioner. So it's a little glossy right now. Once it dries, it'll have a little less of a sheen on it. One little area down here, this is of zero concern for me because this is inside the pocket of the door where you keep your umbrella and your newspaper and whatnot. This is where the electrical wire comes in for the light, which is on the bottom side of the door. So that is supposed to be that way. Anyway, the little hump we had here, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bother with it. I personally don't think I would be able to get that out of there. The vinyl is stretched in that area where that balled up foam was. We've got this thing really nicely adhered to the edge. We've got some really cushy backing inside there. So when your arm rests against it, it'll feel like you're in a Mercedes, you know? So we got our drink holder firmly affixed to the door panel as well. Pay no attention to that gold screw. I couldn't find another screw of the same size to fit. So hey, what are you going to do? Besides, when you close it, you can't see it. All right, so and there you go. There is the Luan firmly affixed to the back of the door card. The screws were pretty long, so I just ground down the heads of them so they wouldn't poke into the metal door skin. So that's all for now. This is the end of part 3 in the front passenger door restoration series. I appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember, enjoy driving your classic Mercedes.